Hey, what's going on, you guys? So I have another DC Mcfarlane multiverse review here, and today we are reviewing the DC Mcfarlane Multiverse Sportsmaster, which is a Platinum Edition. Here's the box. Sportsmaster on the side. On the back, you got a nice picture. So for now, that's just how I'm gonna have to show off the boxes because my setup does not work well with boxes. So. Um, okay. And here he is. Oh, great. So I don't have best. Okay, there we go. So here he is. But let's get into his accessories. So I want to cover something really quick. I know I usually don't go into the more like fun accessories right away, but I do want to get this out of the way. Unfortunately, so he suffers from the problem of having too tight of hands, or at least hand. So with his baseball bat, and I guess this is a warning to if you're interested in this guy, to be very careful or to heat up the hand, or I don't know how to personally do that. I've never done that. I usually don't even have issues, um, but I just applied too much pressure, and unfortunately, this is not what the baseball bat is. But I am gonna get some like Gorilla Glue and get it back together here. So just be aware. But so getting back to the more boring accessories, comes with a stand there, and then he comes with a little trading card, and there's a cool artwork of him. On the back, there's a bio that reads real name Lawrence Kroc. Lawrence Kroc could turn his hand to any sport, but his obsession with winning saw him cripple a football player, ending his professional career. Instead, he turned to crime, attempting to rob a polo match before adopting a costume identity, Sportsmaster. Lawrence Kroc joined the Injustice Society and struck up a fruitful partnership, criminal and romantic, with Huntress, originally Tigress. So interesting. Now, I do know that the version of Sportsmaster that I am most familiar with is well, I shouldn't say very, because they're still kind of rough around the edges guys, and they can still definitely throw down, but there's definitely like a little bit of some differences here. I grew up on Young Justice, as I've said before, and Sportsmaster had a very big role in that because his daughter Artemis was one of the main characters, and he still was semi-sports themed. He didn't really lean into it too hard in that show, but basically, like, you could kind of tell with some of his weaponry or how, I mean, first of all, it's a hockey mask, or semi, like a hockey goalie mask, and some of his weapons too were kind of sports themed in that show. I think a show that does the weapons a little better is probably the Stargirl series. Now, I have not watched the Stargirl series, but from the few scenes I watched of him in it, he pretty much acts the same way the Young Justice version did, but just had like the more like sports leaning weaponry. So like it could be as simple as like a explosive hockey puck, if you wanted to go into that. So, but I really liked him as a character, um, and I'm very happy to have him. He's one of my favorite villains because of Young Justice, and they definitely made him very cool in that series. So, and then but then for the more fun accessories, he does come with a hockey stick. You can see some. Okay, I'm glad that the camera wants to focus on the figure, but I'm trying to focus on the accessory right now. Got some grooves and stuff like that. And you can even tell that the hockey thing is uh, bent inward a little bit, so it can You know, like if you're actually hitting a hockey puck. He does not come with one, and to be fair, I'm kind of glad he doesn't. He only has one hand, and like I said, it was pretty difficult to get this in his hands. Um, so yeah, just be aware of that. Let's take a look at him. So there's the head portrait, pretty nice. The mask is awesome. You can see the eyes. It doesn't do too well on camera, but you can't. There is the eyes there. Blonde hair. And he's got like this really a bunch of armor up here, all over. Some wrinkling. He does reuse the Future State Batman body, so he actually does have thigh swivels. When we get to articulation there, he's got this little guard here. On the other arm, it's a little more unprotected. On the back, you have another armor piece there, some sculpt work. So at the front there. So yeah, he's just kind of like a very fit and can fight really well type character. I usually go for those type of characters for villains or heroes, so kind of works out that way. So yeah, let's get into articulation here. So you can look up that far, look down that far, look side to side. He's got head pivot, got the usual little dumbbell joint in there. I think you do. Yeah, he does. Just a little bit more suppressed. His arms move out that far. He does actually have a bicep swivel right where the arm meets the cut for the shirt there, which is actually really cool. Double jointed elbows, and a wrist swivel, and a hinge. Got a diaphragm joint that allows him to bend that far forward, bend that far back here. And there's two joints, so it technically can move separately, but I just do it same. So the leg can kick out that far, can kick back that far, and of course can kick out that far. He does actually have an upper thigh swivel, not the prettiest one, but it still works. And then he's got double jointed elbows, or not elbows. Well, he does, but double jointed knees. And then he's got ankles that swivel, they hinge. They don't actually rock though. It might a little bit, and then he's got toe articulation. So yeah. Like I said, I really like this character. Definitely gonna have him. I can't wait to compare him to like when I get the newest Deathstroke they have out there. So, because in the show they actually had a little bit of a rivalry for a bit there. So yeah, and then I'll get the little hockey stick here in his hands, hopefully. Yeah, hockey stick is much easier to get into his hands than the bat was. So yeah, try to get him posed up here. Of course. Come on. You know, sometimes I just really don't have the look. Of course, I don't have them on the most secure. But sometimes there's just certain figures that, like, when I first get them, I cannot get them to stand. I don't know what it is. So, hopefully he stays standing. But I'm going to do the comparisons one at a time. Because it makes my Young Justice heart very happy. I have to have him next to my favorite DC superhero and the one that I relate to the most, and who I also loved in Young Justice. Hopefully he stands. I don't know if he will. Okay, he's not going to. Yeah, because the 1 foot is off balance, but there you go. And then we'll show him off to the most recent review, which is, of course, the Platinum Edition Green Lantern. And then gotta get this guy straightened up too. Here he is next to the first edition Batman. So there you go. So yeah, like I said, this guy has a special place in my heart. He's one of my favorite DC villains. And I understand that it's mostly based off of that one show, but it still is just one of my favorites. In fact, oftentimes, you know, I put him on some of my top, like, if I created my own villain team, right, it would, you know, or like Task Force X, right, you know, I've oftentimes picked him to be on there. So yeah. He's just really awesome. I do know that some people are probably going to bring up the fact that he looks a little bit like Casey Jones from Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, and I do definitely get that. I will say that for the most part, I still think there's major differences, but when you combine it with the hockey stick, you definitely get a similarity. If you took away the hockey stick, I think there's a little less similarity. Like if I just kept like the baseball bat or some other weapon that you might have used, it would probably be a bit different, but I can definitely see the comparisons. And I do love Casey Jones. But as you guys I'm sure have noticed, I don't really go after the TMNT stuff a whole lot. Heck, I barely even get after Transformers half the time. Or G.I. Joe too. So yeah, I hope you did enjoy this review. If you did, like, share, and subscribe. Let me know if you've ever heard of this character, or if you knew him from Young Justice like I did, or maybe let me know what some of your favorite obscure villains might be. So, but anyways, I hope you enjoyed this review, and I will catch you in the next one. Peace.